There was a certain point in time where Triple H was firmly embedded in the world title picture. Imagine a tick, only with mutton chops and a sledgehammer. From 1999 to 2016, the game won either the WWE or World Heavyweight Championship 14 times. Today, we are going to find out which title reigns were worthy of the King of Kings and which one he should have told to suck it. I'm Adam Pachisi from Cultaholic Wrestling, and this is every Triple H World Championship reign ranked from worst to best. Join us. Number 14, the WWE Championship, October 7th, 2007. No Mercy 2007 was a rather strange evening. The show was supposed to feature John Cena defending the WWE Championship against Randy Orton, but the Doctor of Thugonomics got hurt in the days leading up to the event. This led to Mr. McMahon simply gifting the belt to Orton, who was then promptly beaten for the title by Triple H. The game then defended the championship against Umaga before dropping it back to Orton in the night's main event. So why didn't they just make a match of Triple H versus Randy Orton for the vacant title and have Randy win? Well, dear viewer, that would have simply made too much sense now, wouldn't it? Anyway, this counts as a reign for Trips, and yeah, what else do you want us to say? It was over and done with in the space of one night. Pointless. Number 13, the WWE Championship, August 23rd to September 14th, 1999. You might think a big star like Triple H should have won his first World Championship at one of WWE's major pay-per-views. Well, think again, because Hunter's maiden WWE title run began the night after SummerSlam 1999. Trips, who had been part of the main event the night before, beat Mankind on Raw to reach the mountaintop for the first time. Did he then reign for many months, having classic matches in the process? Nope, he held the belt for just over 3 weeks before dropping it to Vince McMahon. The genetic jackhammer booked himself to win his own top championship from his own future son-in-law. You couldn't make this stuff up. Well, you couldn't, they did. Triple H's first go at being world champion was a total flop, but luckily things would improve over time. Number 12, the WWE Championship, September 26th to November 14th, 1999. Not only did Vince win his own world title, but he vacated it before anyone could beat him for it. That makes him one of only a handful of undefeated world champions in the history of professional wrestling, pal. After the chairman gave up the gold, a six-pack challenge for the vacant championship was set for Unforgiven 1999. The winner of that match was Triple H, the guy who was champion in the first place. Again, logic and simplicity is just a little bit too easy. The King of Kings fared a little better this time around, managing to reign for 49 days before dropping the belt at Survivor Series to The Big Show, who was a last-minute replacement after Steve Austin got hit by a car. Number 11, the WWE Championship, May 21st to June 25th, 2000. The WWE title was all over the place in 2000, bouncing between Triple H and The Rock 4 times between January and June. At Judgment Day 2000, the game defeated the Great One in their legendary Iron Man match. It was legendary because The Undertaker turned up on his motorcycle right at the end and ruined everything by costing Rock the title. The good times wouldn't last for the cerebral assassin, as he would drop the strap back to The Rock at King of the Ring. How did he lose it, I hear you ask? In a 6-man tag team match where Rocky pinned Vince McMahon to win the title. Seriously, Vince, can you just stay out of Paul's business for 5 bloody minutes? Number 10, the World Heavyweight Championship from September 12th to December 6th, 2004. Few wrestlers are as synonymous with a championship as Triple H was with the World Heavyweight title between 2002 and 2005. Not only was Hunter the first ever holder of the new belt, but he also reigned with it 5 different times. Trips won his 4th big shiny belt at Unforgiven, beating his former Evolution buddy Randy Orton for the honor. Not only did he win the title, but he also single-handedly crushed any chance Orton had of getting over as a hot new babyface. Just brilliant stuff all round here. This run lasted for 85 days before a double fall in a triple threat match on Raw forced the title to be vacated. Quite the lame ending then, but at least the reign was a decent length. Spare a thought for poor Randy, mind. Number 9, the WWE Championship from March 17th to April 21st, 2002. You would think that a world title reign that began in the main event of WrestleMania would be higher up on this list, but Triple H's 5th WWE title run had a lot working against it. Firstly, his main event match with Chris Jericho was massively overshadowed by Hulk Hogan vs. The Rock from earlier in the night. Secondly, his stint with the Gold only lasted a miserable 35 days, which only took him to the next pay-per-view. And thirdly, the man he lost the championship to was a 48-year-old Hulkster. Let me tell you something, brother, that's just not right. What should have been Triple H's big comeback story after his torn quad turned into set dressing for a middle-aged man's last desperate shot at clinging on to former glory. This time, spare a thought for poor Trips. Number 8, the WWE Championship from February 15th to April 26th, 2009. Another Triple H main event at WrestleMania, another non-title match lower down the card overshadowing it. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Triple H was defending the WWE title he had won at No Way Out against Randy Orton in the main event of Mania 25. The match itself was bogged down by the bizarre inclusion of a rule that meant Trips would lose the belt if he got disqualified. It was also massively shown up by Shawn Michaels vs. The Undertaker from earlier in the night. The game gets points for retaining his title over Orton, but this was the highlight of an otherwise unimpressive reign. He lost the belt that very same month in yet another 6-man tag. Hey, at least Vince wasn't the one pinned this time. Number 7, the World Heavyweight Championship from September 2nd to November 17th, 2002. Just how did Triple H end up becoming the first ever World Heavyweight Champion? Well, Eric Bischoff got the belt out of his loft, dusted it off and said, "Here you go," on an episode of Raw. Hardly the most impressive start to a new lineage, is it? Thankfully, Mr. Helmsley was part of a great and historic match in this reign, the very first Elimination Chamber from Survivor Series 2002. Despite having his throat crushed not long into the contest, Triple H fought through the pain right until the very end before eating a pinfall from recently returned best bud Shawn Michaels. This would be HBK's final ever World Championship victory, and it was an emotional moment for all involved. This reign may not have gotten off to a great start, but sometimes it's how you leave them. Number 6, the WWE Championship from January 24th to April 3rd, 2016. With Triple H now seemingly done with in-ring wrestling for good, this will go down as the final world title reign in his illustrious career. And it was alright. Nothing special, but alright. The King of Kings made his big return at number 30 in the 2016 Royal Rumble after Roman Reigns had laid waste to him a few weeks earlier. He went on to win the match and the WWE title in the process. This was all done to set up Roman versus the H-Man at WrestleMania 32 in a match that unfortunately turned out to be one of the most disappointing Mania main events of all time. On paper, this reign should have been excellent. A Royal Rumble win, a WrestleMania main event, hey, what's not to like? Unfortunately though, title reigns are not played out on paper. Number 5, the World Heavyweight Championship from January 9th to April 3rd, 2005. Remember how earlier we mentioned that Triple H had to vacate the World Heavyweight Championship because of a double pinfall? Well, 1 month later at New Year's Revolution, an Elimination Chamber match was held to crown the new champ. That match was won by Triple H. Seriously, he once again effectively won a world title from himself? The lengths this man went to back in those days. Thankfully, this insane narcissism did lead to a major coronation at WrestleMania 21. Triple H was more than happy to put over former Evolution stablemate Batista in that show's main event, relinquishing the world title in a star-making moment for the big lad. This would be Hunter's final ever World Heavyweight title run as the infamous Reign of Terror finally came to an end. Number 4, the World Heavyweight Championship from December 14th, 2003 to March 14th, 2004. Triple H and Goldberg were like oil and water during the WCW stars' first run with the company. They just did not mix. Everyone was expecting the master of the jackhammer to bulldoze through the game at SummerSlam, only for Hunter to flip the script and retain. Whilst Goldberg did eventually beat his nemesis for the title, he would only hold it for 3 months before Trips won it right back off him. That being said, the title reign this generated was pretty decent. The Cerebral Assassin had great matches with Shawn Michaels on the last Raw of 2003 and at the 2004 Royal Rumble, and the match he lost it in, the triple threat main event of WrestleMania 20, is up there with the very best main events in the show's history. Just don't expect WWE to ever tell you that. You know why? Number 3, the WWE Championship from April 27th to November 23rd, 2008. Considering he's held the thing 9 times, it's surprising to learn that only 2 of Triple H's WWE title reigns have lasted over 100 days. His 8th reign with the gold was his longest, clocking in at 210 days across most of 2008. He won the belt off Randy Orton in a fatal 4-way at Backlash and would defend his prize against the likes of the Viper, John Cena, Edge, and regrettably the Great Khali. Interesting moments from his time on top included participating in a championship scramble match, teaming up with Mr. Kennedy for a 14-on-2 handicap match on Raw, and attempting to get a decent feud out of Vladimir Kozlov. Spoiler alert, he failed. This reign would eventually end at the hands of Edge, bringing a respectable if somewhat forgettable run to a close. Number 2, the World Heavyweight Championship from December 15th, 2002 to September 21st, 2003. After regaining the World Heavyweight Championship from Shawn Michaels at Armageddon 2002, the Boy Toy's former DX buddy embarked on the longest World Championship reign of his career. For 280 days, the second lengthiest reign in the title's history, Triple H had a vice-like grip on the big gold belt, fending off any and all challengers put in his way. Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, Booker T. Wait a second, these were all bad matches. Anyway, despite its substantial girth, there was a lot of guff in this title reign, and despite his best efforts, Hunter didn't prove that he was single-handedly better than all of WCW's top stars put together. Still, history and length has to count for something, which is why this run has done so well for itself in our ranking. Number 1, the WWE Championship from January 3rd to April 30th, 2000. Although it lasted less than half the length of the previous entry, Triple H's third reign with the WWE title accomplished way more. After winning the belt back off the Big Show on Raw, Hunter crossed paths with an old rival, Mick Foley. This led to the legendary street fight at the Royal Rumble, which remains some people's pick for the best WWE title match of all time. He followed that up by retiring Foley in a classic Hell in a Cell match. Then there was WrestleMania 2000, which Trips main evented alongside a temporarily unretired Foley, Show, and The Rock. Sure, that match was an overbooked flop, but it was still the main event of WrestleMania. And then came Backlash. Triple H versus The Rock, one-on-one for the gold in one of the greatest crowd-pleasing matches the company has ever done. It featured great wrestling, sports entertainment pizzazz, and a Steve Austin pop louder than the teenage girls at a Simply Red concert. All of this and more makes the 118 days Triple H spent with the WWE title in 2000 one of the best periods of his long and illustrious career. It really was that damn good.